All right, juror 1004, good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Madam, just to recap, you were summoned as a juror on the 17th of March of this year to begin the jury selection process. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And during that particular process, do you recall, and let me back up just a second, because of conduct that occurred or alleged conduct that occurred on the 17th of March, you were served with a order to show cause. That was filed on the 20th of March of this year to appear on this date, the 3rd of April at 10 o'clock in courtroom 1C. You received a copy of that notice, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that notice also gave you sufficient notice that as to why you should not be held in willful contempt for violating the court's admonitions against improper jury behavior, specifically live streaming the jury selection process on Friday, March the 17th of 2023. Do you recall that? I'm going to include that as a copy of the next court exhibit in order. That's your notice that we gave you. So you are at this point in time. Why shouldn't I hold you in willful contempt?
Okay, so I'm going to explain everything that happened that day on the 17th of March.
Okay, but before then, do you recall this court giving you the ad nauseum admonitions about acceptable behavior?
About having phones out?
Yes.
At the moment when we came in.
Didn't I tell you to turn your phone off?
It was, I'm going to be truthfully and very honest. When it was a lot going on, we had just come from different
floors.
Answer
my question first, and then you can explain it. Do you recall us telling you to turn off your cell phones?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you also recall me going through a litany of different things that would cause us to potentially put the case in jeopardy. Do you remember me saying that to you?
I mean, I couldn't hear. It was so much people. It was so many people talking and so many people doing different things. So people were talking when I was giving that admonition to you? Yes.
Meaning that you didn't hear it? You didn't
Yes.
hear any of the 10 minutes that I went through on the record about the things you couldn't do? Specifically, you couldn't research on Google. You couldn't go ahead and otherwise contact your friends on social media. Do you remember that?
Well, I remember the part when you saying we had to, but I didn't hear the turn off the phone.
Remember me talking about no social media?
Yes.
Do you remember me also pointing to the placards that are on the wall about social media and the things you cannot do?
And I didn't see that until after the fact.
You don't recall me pointing that out to you?
No, sir.
But you were, in fact, told to, one, put away your phones, and two, that you could not otherwise, you do remember, you couldn't otherwise post, pin, tweet, or otherwise.
And I didn't.
Send anything to social media.
Correct, I didn't.
But you did live stream our proceedings, didn't you?
It wasn't live streamed at all.
So what exactly did you do then?
Okay, so when you was giving the speech, everybody was talking. I did take a video, and then the young lady next to me, she was like, "Ma'am, we're not supposed to be recording." Soon as they said that, I deleted everything right then and there. Maybe an hour went by. That's when the officer came up to me and said, somebody had told us that you may be recording. So I showed them the phone. They went through my recent deleted photos and seen the video that I made. But it was already deleted because the young lady next to me had told me that you did say we wasn't supposed to be doing any of that. And this is my first time. That was my first time ever being in court in my whole entire life. So I wasn't really sure of anything we couldn't and could not do. So I do apologize for that.
Madam, I went through a very long and arduous process of telling people what they could not do.
Correct.
And you violated that. And you put this trial in jeopardy because of doing that, because of your actions of that. And I told you that the reason that we put such a big emphasis on this is because people actually do this kind of stuff. They go ahead and they take pictures. They go ahead and visit the scene. They go ahead and talk to their friends on social media. They talk about and try and learn things about the case that they're not supposed to, aren't presented in the four walls of this courtroom.
Yeah, it wasn't posted on social media or any type of.
Well, I know that, but I told you don't even get on your phones and to not record anything.
And I didn't notice that until the middle of the court.
Well, the lady sitting behind you saw you going ahead and videotaping these particular proceedings, and that was in violation of this court's order. So contempt is punishable by a fine of $1,000 and or 20 days in jail. Madam, I think that given the amount of time and energy and effort and care we spent in making that particular pronouncement, and I tell it multiple times for multiple reasons, and you decide you're going to just do what you wanted to do.
It's not
pull out your phone
doing what I wanted to do.
Well, you pulled out your phone and videotaped our proceedings, and that was in direct violation of this court's order. So I'm going to sentence you to 3 days of in jail, and that will otherwise satisfy your contempt. So
it's not going to be the payment? I thought you said.
No, I'm not going to fine you $1,000 because this court, I've given this same admonition a number of times, and there are varying reasons that we punish people in society. Okay, I'm just going to tell you the reasons are: one, just general is retribution, eye for an eye. The second reason that we punish people is for general deterrence. We don't want other people doing this kind of same thing. Third reason is specific deterrence. That means we don't want you doing this again. And then it's rehabilitation and reentry. So, ma'am, in this particular situation, unfortunately, I have told several people and made several iterations of this particular notice. And you videotaped our proceedings. It was just a brazen violation of these particular proceedings. I told you not to. If you just left your purse in your pocket, you would have not even put yourself in this particular predicament.
Right, but there was so much going on. I suffered.
That doesn't excuse your behavior, and it doesn't give you.
I didn't hear every.
Madam, that does not excuse your behavior, and it doesn't provide it's an excuse for behavior, because there is no reason you couldn't have taken your phone and put it in your purse when we told you to do that, right?
Correct.
Instead, you took your purse out. You had to go through several manipulations to turn on the video feature for you to go ahead and videotape these proceedings. Is that right? It just didn't come on by itself, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's willful. That's you like saying to me, Judge, I don't care what you said about this kind of behavior. I'm going to do what I want to do. So for that reason, that's why I'm going to hold you in contempt for 3 days, and that will otherwise satisfy your contempt.
Your Honor, you ready to take your custody?
Yes, ma'am.